Welcome back, YouTube. So, I know I'm still in the process of getting my shop back together. So I wasn't able to do the pipe this weekend for you guys. However, there is something that I have been wanting to get into that now is the perfect excuse to do it. I want to make some metal wire-wrapped beard beads. And to do that, really all you need is some wire. I have this gold colored craft wire, which you get 40 yards of it for like $5. Stupid cheap. But I also have a bunch of this little thin copper wire, which should actually be a little bit more authentic to the time period, when people used to wear beard beads like Vikings and stuff. And the reason behind that is gold was super expensive. Gold was super expensive. Well, I mean, it still is. But copper was a lot cheaper, and they're both precious metals in the sense that they were easy to work. And I think this I got out of an old motor. This was the wrapping around this is the coil wrapping around it. And I just save stuff like this whenever I take something apart that's broken beyond repair. I strip everything out of it that I can. And it's a good habit to get into. You never know when you need a little odds and ends. So I'm going to straighten the wire, which is a nice little trick. And I'm going to show you a couple different ways to wrap it, which takes a minimum amount of tools. So let's get to it, and we'll have a few beads. So like I said, there's a minimum amount of tools needed. You will need some wire. You'll need something to wrap it around. Now, I got this mandrel many years ago because I used to do a lot of jewelry work. It has all different sizes. I don't even know what the size divisions are anymore, to be honest with you. But they're all graduated. Or, I mean, this is a Craftsman punch. I don't know what size it is. But you can see it's much thicker. You can even use a small screwdriver. You want to use a Phillips instead of a flathead. The flatheads have a bit of a flare at the end. And once you have it wrapped, you will not be able to get it off. And this is slightly over 1/8 of an inch. Not exactly sure how much, but just a little bit. You'll also need a drill. Now, when you get wire, especially when it's been wrapped for a long time, it'll have a memory. And that's no good for wrapping. So all I do is take a piece and snip it. And the trick to getting straight wire is to twist it. Now that sounds counterintuitive, but it's really not. Take a little amount of it. You want to chuck it in your drill. Grab the other end with a pair of pliers. Now you're going to lose a few inches on either end, but it's definitely worth the extra hassle. And now you just spin it. You want to spin it on a low to medium speed. When you're done, piece of wire that is now perfectly straight. The cool thing about this is it actually adds a little bit of detail in there. I don't know if you can see it or not, but what happens to the wire, the reason it gets straight is twisting it will make the wire actually have a helical crystalline structure within itself, and that is evident if you can look at it against the light. And it adds a nice little layer of detail in there. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Some people might not like it, but either way, you have straight wire now. So what I like to do is we'll start on the screwdriver. This bit here is a little messed up. So go in a few inches. Now just wrap it as tightly as you can. when you have that all wrapped to a satisfaction, you actually want to slightly overwrap it because there will be some spring back. Now before you're finished, you want to take it down to the bottom of your mandrel there and compress it as much as you can. These thin wire beads look better when they're a bit taller and they're tighter. Now you want to clip a few inches off the end. And if you vape and make your own coils, this will be a very familiar structure to you. And if you really wanted to, you could do this with some canthal. Really, any thin wire works great. But the part that differs is when you take this here, you want to do a 90-degree turn away from your wrap. And here. So now it looks more like a resistor. I guess they're both resistors. But this is where your detail will come in. You want to trim it so that you have about a finger's width of wire on either side. And I know your fingers will be different sizes than mine, but it's just to give you a starting point. Now once you have things trimmed down to where you want it, I have these little pliers. They have a little conical tip onto them. They're not exactly, they're round-nosed, needle-nose pliers, and these are for making jewelry. I think they're, I don't know, $8-10 for a set of two of them, maybe $15 for a needle nose that are ground smooth on the inside of the round nose. We'll take the round nose, and I like to wrap into the wrap, which I don't know if you can see it, but the wrap comes this way. So I'm going to wrap this way, a little spiral. You grab it at the very tip. Once you have that, I just compress it with the needle nose there. Just a little bit of detail. A little flare. Once you got that done, you just adjust it a little bit. And there you go. It's a little wire beard bead. Now, this is always easier with thicker gauge wire. The thinner it is, the more squirrely it gets. It starts to look a little bit more abstract. So, this is about twice as thick. And we'll see how this one goes for us. And then I'll use another mandrel here. Try this guy. Now, same process as before. Chuck it in your drill, spin it till it's straight. One thing with using reclaimed copper wire is that sometimes it's brittle from either having impurities in it or having weird kinks in it from the manufacturing process. And while it's fine for the application that they have it in, reusing it and trying to take those kinks out could lead to, structural failures. But hey, it's pretty much free copper, so just take it around your mandrel. You want to leave about an inch and a half. Just wrap it around. A little trick for you, if there's a little bit of a flare on the end of your mandrel, a little bit of pressure and twisting, and it'll eventually unwind itself from the mandrel. I just like backing it off some threads. So this one I have a few options with, since I got this one real tight. I could, do that same thing. Or I could just leave the ends kind of loose. Well, not really loose, but you see how this one kind of spiraled down? I could do a similar pattern up here. Ooh. Also, don't drop it. And same process as before, just wrap it around. It looks much thinner because the mandrel was much thinner. But realistically, both of these will easily fit on your beard. And if you do use a beard balm, which I am starting to produce now, or a beard oil, the oils in the balm will actually wipe off onto the metal a little bit and protect it. So you don't really need to do anything with it unless you don't use it for a long period of time. Now, I don't think I have enough wire to do it the right way, but we'll see. You can also take two dissimilar pieces of metal, or two similar pieces of metal if they're thick enough. If they're thin, you won't really see the difference. But since I have copper and gold here, chuck them together in the drill. You get a nice little twisted pattern here, which also thickens the metal too, if you're worried about working with metal that's too thin. I think I have just enough here to do another one. What I'll do is I'll do a short one on a fat mandrel. No. On this guy. When you have a short one like this, instead of doing the finger rule, just trim them to equal length. Otherwise, it'll look a little strange. There you go. 3 different beard beads. I think it took me 20 minutes to do all 3 of them, plus some fumbling around and stuff. And this is something you could easily do, while you're watching TV or just waiting around. Clearly, it doesn't take a whole lot of tools. And it really doesn't take a whole lot of experience. It's just something, you're wrapping a piece of wire around something round. At the end of the day, you don't even need to do those little curly cues at the ends. I like them because it dresses it up a little bit. Well, YouTube, thanks for watching. Thanks for coming out, guys. I know this isn't one of my normal projects, but all my beard videos get a lot of views. So I wanted to show you guys a way that you could make your own beard beads if you don't have a lathe at home. For the most part, those are not cost effective for me to make anyways, so I really don't make a whole lot of them. But it's something fun that you could do. And one cool thing, it's always great to be able to wear your own handicraft out and then get compliments on it. Maybe it's just me, but I love it when people ask me about my beard bead. Because I know they're recognizing it and it's my work and they think it's cool. And then they find out I'm the one who made it and they really think it's cool then. So, you know, maybe it's something you'd like to give a try to. It takes maybe $20 in materials, and you can make a whole mess of them if you wanted to, really. Very little tools, and really the only specialty tools are the jeweling pliers, and you can pick those up at any craft store, like AC Moore, Michaels, what's that other one? Hobby Lobby. I got mine in an actual jeweling shop, I don't know, 2005, 2003, sometime in there. And we actually had a jewelry store here. But after the market crashed, they couldn't keep up, so they went out of business. Which is a shame, really, because they offered a great service, at least to me. And it's something fun to get into, and if you do make them, you could make a little bit of side cash. Not a whole lot with these little beard ones, these little wire ones. I think I used to sell them for $4 a piece, $5 a piece. But it's something fun, something interesting, and it could definitely lead to more creative things down the road. So play with it and have fun. It really is about fun at the end of the day. These little hobby things that we do, it's about a lot of fun. So anyways, guys, if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. I release new content every Monday and Friday. Every Monday is a Manliness Monday, where I talk to you about things, where I go over things like gun safety, how to be a gentleman, beard care, beard health, shaving, style tips, things of that nature. And on Fridays, I do project videos. This was a very simple project, and I think that's something that anyone can get into. But I primarily do woodworking, and I try to have fun. And I hope you guys have fun with me. So hit that subscribe button so you can come back and check out the things I do. Maybe try them for yourself. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and thank you for helping me make a better world, one kerf at a time. See you next week.